Hello, welcome back to English with BDM, and I am B. Mondal. In this video, I am going to explain how to manage the helping verb to do while changing direct speech to indirect speech. As a helping verb, do has three forms: do and does for the present and did for the past. The helping verb to do is used only in the active voice. Do does are used in the present simple tense active voice, while did is used in the past simple tense active voice. In no other voice tense combination can we use the helping verb to do, that is, do, does, or did. We know that the main structure, the normal structure of the present simple tense is we first place the subject, which is the agent or doer, because in an active voice sentence, the subject must be the agent or doer, and then the present tense form, the first form of the principal verb. Birds fly in the sky. The children play in this park every afternoon. Now, you know that when the subject is third person singular number, in the present simple tense active voice, we have to add s or es to the verb. My mother prepares breakfast for all of us every morning. And the past simple tense is formed by using the second form, the past tense form of the principal verb after the subject, which must be the agent or doer of the verb. We visited Taj Mahal last year, but we use do and does in the present simple tense active voice to form negative statements and to lay extra emphasis on the principal verb. Similarly, we use did in the past simple tense active voice to make negative statements, that is, negative declarative sentences, and to lay extra emphasis on the principal verb. We also use do does to form questions in the present simple tense active voice, and did in the past simple tense active voice. We also use did to lay extra emphasis on the principal verb in positive statements. We also use do to form negative imperative sentences and also to lay emphasis on the verb. Let us now consider the three categories of sentences one by one, and let us try to learn how we can manage the helping verb to do, that is, do, does, and did, while changing speech from direct to indirect. These are all statements, that is, declarative sentences. The first three are negative statements, and the last three are positive statements with do and does and did. In these three sentences, we have used do, does, did to lay emphasis on the principal verb, and in the first three, we have used do, does, and did to form negative statements. Sentence number one: she said, I do not know this person. Do not know. Do know is present simple tense active voice. We have used do here to form the negative statement. And we know that when the verb of reporting is in the past tense, we have to change the present simple tense to the past simple tense. So, do not know turns into did not know. Therefore, whenever we get do or does with that verb not, we have to change do into did. Invariably, do or does becomes did when we have this present tense indefinite tense active voice with the reporting verb in the past tense. So the answer is, she said that she did not know that person. Number two, he said to me, the man does not live here now. So as do not know turns into did not know, does not live turns into did not live, do or does turns into did. Invariably did when there is not a negative statement in the present simple tense active voice. He told me that the man did not live there then. Number 3, my friend said to me, I did not notice you at the seminar. Here we get did in the direct speech. And we know that when the verb of reporting is in the past tense, we have to change the past simple tense into the past perfect tense. So the sentence is, my friend told me that she had not noticed. Did not notice past simple tense active voice. Had not noticed past perfect tense active voice. She had not noticed me at the seminar. In number 4 we get do, but it is a positive statement. There is no not here. We have used do to lay extra emphasis on this principal verb. I do know your friend's mother well means I really know your friend's mother well. So in the indirect speech we use did because here do lays emphasis on the verb. Similarly in the past tense did also lays emphasis on the verb. Therefore when we get do or does to lay emphasis on the verb, we must use did in the indirect speech. Yes, we can drop did, but then we have to use the second form of the verb with a suitable adverb. It is better to use did where we get do or does in the direct speech to lay emphasis on the principal verb. Therefore, the answer is, the woman told her daughter that she did know her friend's mother well. Number 5, we get does as the subject is third person singular number, but as do becomes did, does also becomes did when it is used to lay emphasis on the principal verb. Therefore, does care turns into did care. The students said that their head teacher did care for them a lot. In number 6, we get did in the direct speech to lay emphasis on the principal verb. And we know that when the verb of reporting is in the past tense, we have to change the past simple tense to the past perfect tense. So we cannot retain did to retain the emphasis on the principal verb. We have to then use some suitable adverb like certainly, really, surely, definitely, etc. The boy said to his mother, I did return the book in time. The boy told his mother that he had certainly returned the book in time. Now let us consider a few sentences, interrogative sentences, where we get do, does, and did. We know that in these two tenses, the present simple tense and the past simple tense active voice, we form questions usually by using do, does in the present simple tense active voice and did in the past simple tense active voice. Of course there are exceptions, but here our point is to manage do, does and did in the direct speech to turn it into an indirect speech sentence. The man said to the boy, do you hear the strange sound Do you hear the strange sound? It is a question, a positive question. Like a statement, a question can be either positive or negative. It is a positive interrogative sentence. Do you hear the strange sound? Negative, don't you hear the strange sound? Now, when we report a positive question in the present simple tense, where we get do or does, we must drop the helping verb and use the second form, the past tense form of the principal verb. The man asked the boy whether he heard the strange sound The man asked the boy whether he heard the strange sound. We have to drop the helping verb do, because this clause now is declarative in structure and it is a positive declarative clause. Therefore, we cannot use did here, as there is no extra emphasis on the sentence. There is no not in this clause. So we have to use the second form of the verb when we get do or does in a positive question in the present simple tense active voice. She. The same thing happens if there is does when the subject is third person singular number. She said to me, where does the man live now? Where does the man live now? Does must be dropped and we must use the second form of the verb to live. She asked me where the man lived then. But if the question is a negative one in the present simple tense, active voice, and naturally there we get do or does. And as the clause in the indirect speech is a declarative, negative declarative clause, we must use did in the indirect speech along with not and then the present tense form of the principal verb. I said to my cousin, why don't you pay attention to your lessons? Why don't you pay attention to your lessons? It is a negative question in the present simple tense active voice, so we have used do along with not. Now, when we change speech, this clause must remain negative and it turns into declarative form. So, in a negative declarative form in the past simple tense active voice, we have to use did. I asked my cousin why he did not pay. Don't pay turns into did not pay attention to his lessons. Now, if the question is in the past simple tense with did, either positive or negative, we must use the past perfect tense in the in the indirect speech. For example, the child said to his father, Where did you get this puppy? Where did you get this puppy? It's a positive question. But if the question is a negative one, we have to do the same thing. We have to follow the same rule. That is, we must change the verb to the past perfect tense, provided the verb of reporting is in the past tense. Therefore, the sentence in the indirect speech is, the child asked his father where he had got that puppy. The child asked his father where he had got that puppy. Now let us consider a few imperative sentences where we get do in an imperative sentence. If necessary, we can use only do, never does or did, because an imperative sentence is always made, with few exceptions, in the present simple tense. And an imperative sentence also can be positive or negative. Pay attention to your lessons is a positive imperative sentence, while do not neglect your lessons is a negative imperative sentence. So we use do mainly to form negative imperative sentences. And an imperative sentence is formed in the present simple tense. So we say pay attention, do not neglect, etc. Always present simple tense. And the subject is you, which we do not usually mention, but in special situations we can mention the subject. She said to her son, do not neglect your duties. Do not neglect your duties. It's a negative imperative sentence. We know that while changing speech of an imperative sentence, we have to turn the verb, the main verb, into an infinitive by placing the preposition to in front of it. And an infinitive is a non-finite verb form. It has no tense. It cannot indicate time. So there is no question of changing tense. She advised her son not to neglect. Neglect turns into to neglect, an infinitive. Not to neglect his duties. She advised her son not to neglect his duties. Now we can use do in a positive imperative sentence to lay emphasis on the principal verb, as you can do in statements, positive statements. The leader said to his followers, do prepare for a long struggle. The leader said to his followers, do prepare for a long struggle. It is a positive imperative sentence. We have used do here to lay emphasis on the verb to prepare. Now in the indirect speech we cannot use did as the verb turns into an infinitive. Therefore, we have to use a suitable verb of reporting to retain the emphasis on the verb. The leader exhorted, asked, or even we can use the phrasal verb called upon. His followers to prepare for a long struggle. The leader exhorted, asked or called upon his followers to prepare for a long struggle. That is all about grammar today. Thank you for watching. Expecting to meet you soon in the next video. Until then, goodbye.